This is Just Listen, hosted by George. Today is September the 5th, 2023. What I want to talk about today is the federal policy on congressional term limits. So it starts off with the federal government only having restrictions on the executive branch, which would be the President of the United States. And so far, judicial appointments, they are in there for life. And there was something interesting that happened that I found. Actually, 23 states used to have term limits on how long Congress and the House of Representatives and the senators could be in office. But in 1995, the U.S. Supreme Court found that states cannot impose qualifications for prospective members of Congress. So when the Supreme Court made that ruling, then all of the states, the 23 states, had to drop their provisions for the senators and the House of Representative folks staying in office, the term limits. Now, the reason that I think that this is important is that the last time that we ratified an amendment to the Constitution was 1992. And I think that term limits are something that everyone can agree, no matter what side you're on, that we need that in our country. Now, there's a couple of ways to do it. So in order to amend it, you had to have 2/3 vote in both houses of Congress, meaning the Senate and the House of Representatives. Or you could call a convention, the states could, and then they could ratify it by 3/4 of the states. So that's 34 states out of the 50 would have to ratify it. So I told you all of that to tell you this. We the people need to make this happen by telling our elected officials that this is what we want. And since 92, like I said earlier, we are not willing to do the grassroots things of telling our elected officials what we want. Now think about this. If we got term limits for people in the Congress, then no matter who was in there, they would be willing to try new ideas, new changes. And also, we wouldn't have people who have been in office that have so much power, because whether it's we think that the person is good or bad, there would be change. And this is what we need now, because most of the problems coming up before the Congress are pretty complex, and people in the Congress are scared of being voted out of office. So if you took that away, then they would make decisions based on what their constituents want. And also, there shouldn't be anyone serving in Congress 30, 40, 50 years, or there shouldn't be people in the Congress who are absolutely millionaires because they spent 20 years in the House of Representatives. So what we can do, what you can do, is reach out to your person in Congress and tell them, hey, we want term limits for Congress, and we're only going to vote for someone who wants that too. And I think if the country could just rally on that, both sides, which I think is possible because there were 23 states that had already ratified it, and probably if the Supreme Court wouldn't have weighed in, there possibly would have been even more states. So what I'm saying is that I think that right now is a good possibility to bring that kind of change to our country. This is George. Just listen. What do you think?